Okay, the content of my presentation today will be, I think we have a long list of topics to cover. Okay, we have basically 10 topics here that is given to me. First and foremost is the scope and imposition of sales tax. Second one will be on the registration. Then accounting of sales tax, SST 02 declaration, imported taxable service. Then we will go to exemption from payment, that is Schedule A, B, and C. And then we have transition of sales tax rate changes. And then next we will have goods exempted from sales tax order and rates of sale tax. And the last one will be saving on changes in the sales tax rate. Yeah, this is pertaining to our broadening of scope of sales tax effective from 1st July 2025. Okay, I think before we start, it's just good that I share with you what are the legislations that we have pertaining to sales tax 2018. Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, of course, we have the Act, Sales Tax Act 2018. Then we have the regulations. So we have the main one is Sales Tax Regulation 2018. And on top of that, we have another four regulations that will be on specific topic. Yeah, for example, on custom ruling, compounding of offences, determination of sales value, and on LVG, yeah, low value goods. That is on regulation. Then we have quite a long list of orders. Yeah, the main one that we will cover today is person exempted from payment of tax, and then we have other orders. Yeah, and what we have the latest one is sales tax goods exempted from tax order 2025, and sales tax rates of tax order 2025. So pertaining to our broadening of scope, this is the two orders that have major changes. Yeah, in fact, it supersedes the previous order in 2022. Yeah, meaning goods exempted order 2022 and goods rate of tax 2022 has been cancelled and replaced. Yeah, by this order 2025. Yeah, it supersedes the previous one. So that is about the references. Yeah. So where you can find all this, I think now uh, you can always go to my SST. We have all the legislations updated there. So feel free, just go into the system, my SST, and you can, all this information, all this legislation is ready for you to refer to, yeah, in my SST. Okay, let us go to the first topic, that is scope and imposition of sales tax. Okay, STA, Sales Tax Act 2018, in Section 8, it stated that sales tax shall be charged and levied on all taxable goods. Yeah, first, when the goods are manufactured in Malaysia, yeah, by a registered manufacturer and sold, used, or disposed of by him, that is one. And then second one on the goods, taxable goods that is imported into Malaysia by any person. Okay, so that is this is the very basic concept about sales tax, and it is very understand for you to understand uh, this concept so that you can, as a RM, yeah, as a registered manufacturer, later later on you will know where you should charge, and at the same time, if you are the person using exemption, you will know when to apply for the exemption, at which point you can apply, you can claim the exemption. Yeah, so it's this very basic but it's very important one for you to understand. Okay, so again, the first one, I think most of you here are manufacturer. I'm not sure, I don't have the information about our participant today. But if let's say you are a manufacturer of any taxable goods, yeah, you are a manufacturer and you have registered with custom as a RM, registered manufacturer. So whatever taxable goods that you sold, you sell, you use or you dispose, so tax will be charged and levied. Okay. So importation is quite straightforward because basically whatever taxable goods, now we have a long list of taxable goods, right? Because of the broadening of scope, revision of the tax rate. So we have a long list of goods. So whoever you are, once we bring in the taxable goods into Malaysia, so we have to pay for the sales tax, yeah, on importation. Okay, the first one is more like we say like it's a local sales tax. Okay, it's only the registered manufacturer who can charge the sales tax. If you are a trader, then you don't have to, you can't, yeah, you can't charge um, sales tax to your customer. Okay. It looks like a simple one, but we keep on receiving questions from the industry, uh, from outside. Yeah, they are trader whether they should charge sales tax or not. So now I think when you understand this concept, so it is only the registered manufacturer who can charge the sales tax. Yeah, if they are producing, they are manufacturing the taxable goods. Okay, if let's say the RM at the same time they also act as a manufacturer. I think it's quite often now. You as a RM, sometimes you are being appointed by another party to purchase on their behalf, let's say. So at that point, you are a trader. Yeah, you are not a RM. RM is strictly for goods that you manufacture. Yeah, the taxable goods that you manufacture. Okay. Uh, okay. It is also understand for us to know the interpretation. Yeah. Hold on. It look like the slide is hang. Hold on, yeah. Can somebody help me with this? Okay, dah. Okay. Okay. The next slide is on the interpretation. Yeah. So it is very important for us to know, for you to know what is meant with goods and what is taxable goods. Yeah. So goods basically means all movable goods. If you are goods, it doesn't refer to a premise, something that is not movable. Yeah. So in our scope, goods under sales tax is only movable goods. And what is taxable goods? So we have class of goods that is not exempted from sales tax. So basically, all goods are taxable goods. Yeah. If it is under the customs duty order, all goods are taxable goods unless and until they are listed in the goods exempted order. Okay. And okay, registered manufacturer means any manufacturer that is registered under Sales Tax Act, whether it's under Section 13 or 14. We will go later about these two section of the Act. Yeah. And then sales mean include barter, disposal of goods with a right of purchase. Yeah. So this is all considered as a sale. Yeah. Even you are exchanging goods with another party, that is barter. So that is as considered as sales. Okay. Okay, we will, I think when we look at this diagram, it will be more clearer to you in understanding at which point sales tax is to be charged. Okay, so we always hear that sales tax and service tax is a single stage tax. Yeah, so this is the whole scenario of how of when sales tax is being charged. Okay, so you are a registered manufacturer. When you are selling the goods to, let's say, a wholesaler, so that is at that point only, yeah, sales tax is charged. Okay, if let's say you are a wholesaler and then you will be selling the goods to another retailer, then there is no element of sales tax to be charged by the wholesaler. And the same thing applies. That is the retailer, when he sells the good to the end consumer, there will be no sales tax charge. Yeah, in his sales. Yeah, in his invoices that he issued to the consumer, there will be no element of sales tax shown. Yeah, that is why we as consumer, when we go to the supermarket, for example, yeah, we can't see there's no sales tax amount shown in the invoice, yeah, because we are not buying from the registered manufacturer. We are buying from the retailer who he doesn't have to charge sales tax, yeah. So it's only at this point that is RM sells his good to the wholesaler or whoever, yeah. So that is the only point where sales tax is being charged. Okay, that is why we say it is a single stage tax. Okay, so that is on local goods that is manufactured, and then we have the second situation on importation. Yeah, so importation, when you bring in the goods, the taxable goods into Malaysia, so you will go through custom clearance. Yeah, you will have to declare your custom form number one, for example. So okay, that is at that point you have to declare the value of the goods, and custom will check, yeah, custom clearance, and of course you have to pay whatever tax that is uh, due, that is to be charged, to be levied by custom uh, to you. Okay, so you pay the tax amount at that point of time. Yeah. So if subsequently, let's say you as an importer, you sell the good to your customer, so there will be no element of tax to be charged by you. Yeah, so it is embedded into whatever cost that you will charge your customer, the user. Okay, so it will not be it cannot be seen at any other level other than first from the sale of RM to his client, to his customer, and also the second one when the goods go through customs clearance. Yeah, so that is the 2 points only when sales tax is charged. Okay, throughout our session today, yeah, because today is on sales tax, you will we will come across this interpretation, this term, yeah, that is a special area, for example, which covers free zone, licensed warehouse, LMW, JDA, and petroleum supply base. Yeah, I think most of you are doing businesses with companies in LMW companies, right? Okay, so when you are dealing with these companies, which is LMW, or companies which is in free zone or licensed warehouse. So they are considered, we call them as in special area. So our treatment is a bit different, yeah, rather than the treatment with you and another registered manufacturer, okay. And then we also will come across these designated areas, which means Labuan, Langkawi, Tioman, Pangkor, and Pulau Satu. So basically, designated areas is Pulau Bebas Cukai lah. Okay. Okay, first of all, in sales tax, as we said just now, Section 8 says that taxable goods manufactured by registered manufacturer. So what is meant with manufacture? Okay, this stated, it is in Section 3, subsection 1 of the Act, saying that we have the definition of manufacture, that is the conversion by manual or mechanical of organic or inorganic materials into a new product by changing the size, shape, composition, nature, and quality of such materials. Yeah. So this is for goods other than petroleum. And then for petroleum, what we have is the process of refining that includes separation, conversion, purification, and blending of refinery streams of petrochemical streams. Okay, it is in Section 3, yeah? You can always go to Act, yeah? When we say section, it is referring to the Act, yeah? Okay, now we go to Section 9, pertaining to determination of sales value of taxable goods. So in the case of taxable goods that is sold by a taxable person or manufactured by a taxable person and used by him, okay, the Section 8, we said when he sell or when he use, yeah. So we have scenario where he could be manufacture one taxable goods and he use it for his own. Or maybe he doesn't sell, but he give it to someone as a gift, as a donation. Okay, so those scenarios, even if you are giving it for free, for a donation, for a gift, or for your own consumption, sales tax is still due, yeah? Meaning you still have to account for the tax, even though you are not charging your customer with for the, when you give the goods, for the value of the goods, and of course you don't charge him sales tax because you don't sell to him, but you on your own, you have to account for the tax and make a payment to custom, yeah. So how do we determine the value of the goods, yeah? So if it is you sell it to someone, it will be, it's very clear, it will be based on the transaction value between you and your customer, yeah. But in the case where you give it to someone for free, so you have to know it is also the similar transaction that you are doing when you sell the goods. That will be the value of the goods that you give to him, okay, that you give away as a donation. So that will be the normal value that you, when you sell the goods to anybody, yeah, to your customer. So where it is stated about this, the determination of the value, of course the Act just mentioned about this, but we have more in sales tax determination of sales value of taxable goods regulation, yeah. So if you are about to know what is the value of the goods, actually how to go about, where is the guide about the value of the goods, then you go into this regulation, yeah, determination of sales value. Okay, if it is pertaining to taxable goods imported into Malaysia, so it will be the sales tax amount that you will have to pay is the value of that particular goods, okay, that you want to bring in, and then it will be custom duty, yeah. If let's say the goods is subject to custom duty and excise duty, so it will be the value of the goods plus the custom duty plus the excise duty, and finally you total up all these three, and you times is either 5% or 10%. That is the sales tax. Yeah. So basically, that is the amount of the tax that you will have to pay. Yeah. I mean sales tax. Yeah. Of course, you have to pay for the customs duty. You have to pay for the SS duty, and also on the sales tax. Yeah. Sales tax on importation. Okay. In normal, it's very common that sometimes we don't manufacture the whole thing. Okay. Uh, the whole process we don't do from A to Z. Yeah. When you are producing any taxable goods. So at the same time, maybe you are giving you are sending the goods that you manufacture to another party for certain activity, and then you will the goods will be given back to you lah. Yeah. So if in that case, yeah, where any manufacturer receives taxable good from any person, yeah, you are RM, you are receiving the goods from RMA, for example, to be manufactured and subsequently returned to to him. Okay, the sales value of the goods so manufactured shall, subject to approval of the DG, be the amount that the manufacturer charges for work performed by him. Okay, if you are sending, or maybe you are receiving taxable goods from another party, you are required, they ask you to only do certain activity on that goods. Yeah. So basically, you receive the goods from him, you do something. I'm not sure lah what are the terms, or what are the activity that you will do for him. Yeah. Then you may charge him only sales tax only on the work that you perform. Yeah. It's not on the whole value of the goods, but it is subject to approval of the DG. Okay, means that you have to write into customs saying such a situation, such scenario, and then you ask whether you are allowed to use the charges only between your transaction, you and the sender. Yeah, or you and the receiver. Okay, it will not be on the whole value of the goods, but it is only on the work performed. Yeah, so you will charge him 5% or 10% on the value of the good work performed by you. Okay, but please keep in mind, do get the approval from the DG of Customs. Yeah, so write in to Custom at your controlling station asking for this approval. Okay. Okay, next let us go into to this topic, rate of sales tax. Okay, basically in sales tax we have only 10%, 5%, or a specific rate. Yeah. So where does this things stated? Of course, it is not in the act. Yeah, it is in the rate of tax order 2025. So as I said just now, this is among our legislation that has changed due to this expansion. Yeah. Okay. Basically, it's only for sales tax is either 5 or 10 or specific rate, and this specific rate is only applicable to petroleum. Okay. Uh, okay. You may ask, but my goods is exempted. Where is it? Yeah. So rate of tax order, it doesn't say about the it doesn't list what are the goods that is exempted. We have, because we have another order pertaining to goods that is exempted from sales tax. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now this is on goods exempted from sales tax. Yeah. Just now when we look at rate of tax, it is stated under section 10. Yeah. But under this section 35, minister have power to exempt certain goods. Yeah. Okay. He decided that these goods should be remain at zero. or actually it is an exempted goods here. We don't use zero lah. But I think later you may get confused because we have exempted from payment and exempted goods here. Yeah? So I think I will just throughout my session, those goods exempted, I will just refer to it as 0%. Yeah, although it is not 0%, there's no 0% under sales tax, but it is meant exempted goods. Yeah, I think it's for easy reference lah. I think uh, otherwise you will get confused with goods exempted from payment of tax. Yeah. Okay, this section 35 says that minister may exempt any goods or class of goods from the whole or any part of sales tax. Yeah. Our first session we will look into this A lah. Yeah. Any goods of class of goods. Later on we will cover on any person exempted from payment. Yeah. I think this is what most of you are interested at. Yeah. About who is exempted from payment. Can I get the exemption? Isn't it? So I think that is more, it will be a longer topic because we have long list of person exempted from payment of tax. Yeah. Okay. So these are basically the goods that is exempted or zero rated in sales tax. Yeah, we have a list of goods that is exempted. If your goods, okay, I think we just move to the next slide. Okay, determination of sales tax rate. Yeah. So how do you do a test check? Yeah, whether the goods that you produce or the goods that you will import is a taxable goods or not. Yeah. First of all, of course, you have to get the correct tariff code. Yeah, the correct TC of that particular goods, so that you can go into the order to check whether the goods fall under which order. Okay. So okay, basically what we have in goods exempted from tax order, it is not a very long list. It is not. Yeah, it's getting shorter, and with the broadening of scope, it gets even shorter. So it's very easy for you to first go into this exempted exempted goods order, yeah, to check whether the goods that you manufacture is listed there or not. Okay, if it is not there, meaning it is a taxable good. It's just that for you to know now whether it's at 5 or at 10. Yeah. Okay, I think we don't cover about the specific rate lah, yeah, because it is basically on petroleum, yeah. So the goods that you manufacture, whether it is 5 or 10, then you go to our rate of tax order. Okay, if it is there, meaning it is taxed at 5%. Otherwise, if it is not in exempted goods order, it is not in rate of tax order, meaning the goods that you manufacture is taxed at 10%. Okay. So what we have is only if the goods is 0, is exempted, or is taxed at 5. If it is at 10, it will not be in any of this order. Okay. So we will go back into to the customs duty order. Okay. Then meaning it is taxed at 10%. Okay. Okay, if you manufacture taxable goods, be it at 5 or 10%, or specific rate, and meaning you could be a registered manufacturer. Okay, so who is liable to register as a RM? Yes, Section 12 says that any manufacturer who carries out manufacturing activities involving taxable goods and your threshold value is 500,000, yeah, within a 12-month period is liable to register. Okay, where do we find that 500,000? It is in the value of taxable goods order, yeah. I think it's yesterday you have attended to our first day webinar where it was about service tax. Yeah. Okay. Unlike service tax, which we have different threshold value, but for sales tax we have only one threshold value, that is 500,000. Yeah. Once you exceed that 500,000, meaning you are liable to register. Okay, when you are registered, we call you as RM, registered manufacturer. Okay, so how to determine the annual sales turnover? Okay, okay, it has to be your local sales of manufactured taxable goods. Okay, uh, charges for work performed. Yeah, just now I mentioned about section 9, sub 3, where you get the approval. Okay, let's say you get approval from the DG to charge only on work performed. So you plus that one, and also manufactured taxable goods and exported. Yeah, it's very important to know that even the goods is exported. Yeah, it is still subject. We take into account that amount of sales, of exported sales, uh, in determining the your turnover, yeah, whether you reach the threshold or not. Okay, so when we say the third point there, yeah, including transportation to DA and SA, yeah, if let's say the taxable goods that you produce, you transport to your client, to your customer in which is a LMW company, or uh, to your customer in Langkawi. So that also is taken into account, yeah, in whether to check whether you should be registered or not. Okay, so basically it's all uh, all sales on the taxable goods that you manufactured, yeah, regardless of where you sell it to, is taken into account in determining the whether you reach the threshold or not. Okay, and take into account, bear in mind that it should exclude the sales of manufactured goods exempted from sales tax. Okay, maybe as a RM, at the same time you uh, manufacture taxable and exempted goods. Okay, so don't take into account the sale of these exempted goods. Yeah, it's only on taxable goods. And also maybe at the same time, other than a manufacturer, you also act as a trader. So trader of taxable goods, for example. So don't get confused. So it is not the goods that you manufacture, even though it is a taxable goods. So don't take into account for your calculation of your threshold. Yeah. So basically, it's only the taxable goods that you produce, regardless where you sell it to. Okay, application for registration as a RM. It is stated in section 13. Yeah, the application for registration must be made not later than the last day of the following month after the end of the month in which the liability to register arises. Okay, and the effective date for registration will be on the first day of the month following the month in which the application is made. Yeah, or any other date that is agreed between you, the applicant, and the DG of Customs, but that should not be earlier than the date when you become liable to register. Yeah? So you are only liable to register when you reach the threshold. Okay, just to elaborate more on the registration. Okay, okay, if let's say you expected to reach the threshold in August, yeah, August 2024. Okay, then you have this. Okay, I think to not make it clearer. If let's say this month you already reach the threshold. Okay, this is July. Then you have until next month, yeah, August, for you to come forward to custom to apply to get yourself registered. Okay, and then the approval date, the effective date of your registration will be on the first day of September. Yeah. Okay, there is 3 dates. You become liable today, meaning in July. you come forward in August to make your application, then the effective date of registration will be on the 1st of September. Yeah. So how do you apply to be registered? Okay, you just go into the system, my SST, yeah, new registration. Um, you can just click at the new registration. So get yourself registered in the system. Yeah, we have the guidelines on how to go about the registration process in my SST. Yeah, so you don't have to come to us, get yourself registered. Yeah, is everything through the system via my SST. Yeah, so make yourself comfortable. Just go through our my SST. It's all there. We have all the guides. We have all the legislation. We have the manual. Yeah, on how to go about using this my SST. Yeah, system manual, and all other announcement, it will also be in the my SST. Okay, okay. When you want to apply for registration, make sure you select the correct one. Yeah. So if you are a manufacturer, then it will be on sales tax. Yeah. If you are a service provider, taxable services provider, then you apply for service tax. Okay. You can also check your registration status in my SST. So basically, when you apply to be registered, it will be within 24 hours. We will approve your application, and of course, there will be some verification later. Yeah, but anyway, the application will be immediately approved. Yeah, within that 24 hours after you submit your application. So once you are registered, we approve your registration. You will get a surat kelulusan pendaftaran di bawah whatever section that you apply for. Yeah, maybe it's section 13. If it is a mandatory one, it's under section 13. So in this letter, you will see when is your kuasa pendaftaran. Yeah, when is the effective date. For example, in this slide is you applied in 15 February, and the effective is 1st of March. That is first day of the following month after you make your application. Yeah. So it will also state when is your first taxable period and subsequent taxable period. Okay. So you will get this letter, and most importantly is your nombor pendaftaran you as a registered manufacturer will also be in this letter. So after this, when you get this approval letter, you know your RM number. So that is the number that you will have to use lah every time you want to submit whatever matters pertaining to sales tax. Yeah. Okay, just now we mentioned about reaching the threshold. Okay, 500,000, then you have to come forward and apply to get yourself registered. But any manufacturer, we have under section 12 saying that manufacturer who is not liable to be registered may apply to the DG to get yourself registered. Yeah. So what are the case? Maybe sometimes you manufacture taxable goods, but you have not reached the threshold of 500,000, but you want to get yourself in the system to be registered. So you may come forward and apply for a voluntary registration. Yeah. Or in other scenario, in the case where you are carrying out a manufacturing operation that is exempted from a registration order, yeah, but you want to be in the system, you want to be a RM, so you may also come as a voluntary registrant. Yeah. But bear in mind that once you are in the system, once you are a RM, so all obligation, all liability as a registered manufacturer, you have to follow lah. Yeah. So whether doesn't matter whether previously you are a mandatory or voluntary registration. Once you are in the system, once you are a registered manufacturer, meaning you have to follow all the requirement, all the fulfill all the responsibility as a registered manufacturer. Yeah. Okay, just now I mentioned about exemption. Okay, previous slide, yeah. Manufacturer carrying on manufacturing operation in Schedule A of sales tax exemption from registration order. So what are these? Yeah, what is this exemption from registration? Okay, basically, if you are doing only one manufacturing process, yeah, specific manufacturing process, you are exempted from being registered. Yeah. So anyway, you can apply as a voluntary. So what are the activities? Okay, we have currently we have 16 activities. If you are doing any of these activities, yeah, you are exempted from registration. But you must only do one activity. Yeah? If you are doing multiple activities in this process, then you are not considered as a person exempted from registration. Okay, I just take a few example, which is quite um, uh, quite often. Yeah, that it could be under number four. Yeah, the preparation of food or drinks by any person who provides services under Group B of Service Tax Regulation and Central Kitchen. Uh, okay, the repair of second-hand or used goods. Yeah, this could be this is something that is quite often kan yang kita jumpa, the repair of second-hand or used goods. Whether they are changing the quality of the goods, yeah, basically they fall under the definition of manufacture. Yeah, but in their case, if they are only doing repair of second-hand goods, then they are exempted from registration. Yeah. Uh, Okay, another example, repacking of the same bulk goods into smaller packages. Yeah, sometimes we have companies where their activities is only they bring in goods in bulk and then put it into smaller packages. So they are doing a simple manufacturing activity and they are exempted from registration. Okay. Uh, okay, I think you can just go through this exemption from registration order. Yeah, we have 16 in currently. Check whether you are doing any of this activity. If you are doing only this activity, then you don't have to get registered. But if you are doing this and at the same time another activity uh, in the line of that particular of the same goods, meaning you are not exempted and you have to be registered. Okay, cessation of liability to be registered. I don't want to explain more on this because definitely as custom we don't want we to see you come and apply for a cessation of liability to be registered. Yeah, we want you to be in the system, to be our taxpayer. Yeah, if you are RM, where you can enjoy exemption. Yeah, this is the listing that we want to see lah. But anyway, just to share with you, meaning if in the case you are no longer reach the threshold or no longer producing taxable goods, yeah, so you have to get yourself deregistered. Yeah, you have 30 days to notify customs uh, about this cessation. Okay, and we will get you deregistered from the system. Yeah, okay, meaning you have to notify us. You can't just sit there, even though you are not no longer doing taxable goods. You just sit there in the system. We still take you as a RM, but maybe you did not submit your SST02, for example. Yeah, we may of course we will go after you because we don't see you submit the SST02 or make any payment. Yeah. So it's good that you tell us, custom, notify us within 30 days that you are to be registered from the system. Okay. Okay, once you apply, you still have to submit, yeah, your SST02, and you can only stop submitting after you have received our pembatalan pendaftaran, yeah. So when we issue you the letter pembatalan pendaftaran di bawah Atas Cukai Jualan, then only you can stop submitting your SST02. Okay, as a RM, you have quite a lot of responsibilities. Yeah. First, about the submission of SST02 return. Okay, notify any changes to us. Notify the cessation, as I explained just now. And two, the most important is for you to account for the sales tax on the taxable goods. Yeah. So submission of SST02 and to pay tax is the most important responsibilities that you have to take as a RM, and it is a repetition. Yeah, it is what you have to do for every 2 months. Yeah, for every taxable period. Yeah. Maybe notify changes and cessation ni one time only lah. Yeah. Notify changes ni maybe ada a few times that you shift to a new premise, for example, then please let us know. Notify us in my SST about these changes so that we can know where you are at now, and maybe you have additional of goods that you produce also, yeah, that you manufacture. Okay, please update the information in my SST. Okay, as an RM, you have liabilities pertaining to the accounting. Yeah. First, you have to issue an invoice. Yeah. Section 21 says that issuance of invoice is mandatory to every RM who sells taxable goods. And invoice is to be issued pertaining to the sale. Okay, should kena ada prescribed particulars, and it should be either in bahasa or in English, and it may be produced by computer. I think this is the most common kan. We don't no longer issue the manual one, yeah. But we say it may be produced by computer. What are the contents of an invoice? So it is stated in Regulation 7. Please refer to Regulation 7. What are the requirements? Yeah, I think basically this is what you normally have in your invoice. Yeah, serial number, date, name, address of you as a RM, and the person who you sell it to. Okay, but what I want to point out here is that the total amount payable excluding sales tax, the rate of sales tax, and the total sales tax chargeable shown as a separate amount. Okay, so in your sales invoice, you should have your sales amount, the rate of tax, 5% or 10%, and also the tax amount. Yeah, and the total amount payable inclusive of the total of sales tax chargeable. So these two are the additional information that you have as a RM, that you should have as a RM, rather than a ordinary manufacturer. Okay. Okay. We have also provision on CN and DN, which is very common that you issue CN or DN. So Section 23 mentioned about this, that if after the SST02 return has been furnished to the DG, a CN or DN is issued pertaining to the reduction or addition of your sales amount, then you may issue the CN or DN, and your CN or DN must contain this information. Yeah. There's a long list. I think you can just go through on this one. Yeah, and what is important is that the total amount excluding sales tax and the rate of amount of sales tax. Yeah. So these two should be in your CN or DN. And also, I think it's um, like any other transaction point, you always have that CN or DN is referred to which invoice, right? So we can cross check. Uh, if let's say we go to audit your company, yeah, do some verification on your company, we know that CN and DN is referred to which CN invoice that you issued. Okay, so this is about your duty to keep records. Yeah, it is stated in section 24. Okay, records relating to registration, records relating to business activities. That this is the normal businesses I believe should uh, have. Okay, invoice, the NCN, okay, financial statement. This is a very common one. But what I want to share here is that our requirement is all these documents should be in either Bahasa or English, be kept for 7 years, okay, and to be kept in Malaysia. Okay, next we go to procedures pertaining to furnishing of returns and payment of sales tax due and payable. So every taxable person, every RM, yeah, shall account for the sales tax due in SST 02 return, and the return shall be furnished to the DG not later than the last day of the month following the end of his taxable period. Okay, if now you are submitting for June and July, so you have to submit latest by 31st August. Yeah, we will go more detail on this one later. So if you are new in the system, if you are a new RM, so this is how SST02 looks like. Yeah. So it's in my SST. You have to fill in every particulars in this as written, yeah, in this SST02 form, and submit to customs electronically through my SST. But at the same time, we also have other option which I will cover later. Yeah? So these are the particulars in SST02. Okay, if let's say you are now a new RM, or maybe you are the existing RM, but you have, due to the expansion, now certain goods that you produce, which was previously exempted, yeah, 0%, now become taxable. So you have to click at the add goods, yeah, uh, for the TC of the goods that is now become taxable. Yeah, meaning you add the goods that is for you to declare in SST02. Yeah, you select which TC and add and update in your taxable goods list. Okay. Okay, this is how you go about adding new taxable goods that you manufacture. Okay, addition. Okay, I just want to share more on this one. Yeah, we want a good quality declaration, yeah, of SST02. Sometimes companies just submit pertaining information pertaining to their sales that is taxable. Yeah, their local sales, for example, but they miss out, or they normally don't fill in information on part D18, that is sales exempted from tax. Yeah, okay, you have to put in the figure of how much is your export. Okay, your the goods that you transport to SA or DA. Yeah, in column 18, the local sales to person that is getting exemption under schedule A, B or C, and value of exempted taxable services is one is, I think, is not applicable to you, and also sales to person exempted under special exemption by minister or person who is under approved major exporter scheme, AMES, that is under section 61A, meaning all your sales, okay, all the sales of taxable goods that you make, whether it is for export or to person who get exemption, of course there's no tax charge, and okay, and there's no tax to be paid on this transaction. But anyway, we want you to please fill in this section. Yeah, part D of the SST02. Yeah, it's all about your sales, which it doesn't contribute to the amount of the tax that you will pay, but it will definitely show exactly what is the true sales that you make during that taxable period. Yeah. And also on part E of the SST02, that is purchases under Schedule C. Yeah, normally sometimes it's not often lah, but as a newcomer into the system, I would like to share for you to fill in these particulars on purchases. Yeah, as a RM, there is exemption that can be enjoyed by you. Yeah, so fill fill in the particulars, the amount of your purchases under Schedule C. Yeah, whether it's either item 1 or 2, whichever, as which we will go into details of this Schedule C later. Yeah, but make sure you have that the amount of the purchases made with this exemption is stated in your SST02. Okay, pertaining to furnishing of SST02 return and payment of tax. This is the most important one. Yeah. Furnishing of SST02 return. Okay, for the normal period, it is not later than the last day of the month following the end of your taxable period. Remember, in when we approve your application for registration, we tell you what is your first taxable period and your subsequent taxable period. Okay, so make sure for each taxable period that is given to you, yeah, and subsequently you submit the SST02 return accordingly. Yeah, okay, you are given under this section 26 not later than the last day of the month following the end of your taxable period. Again, I repeat, if let's say your taxable period is June and July, so you have to submit not later than 31st August. Yeah, SST02 return and the payment accordingly. Okay, in some cases, DG do approve application if let's say you don't want your taxable period from 1st of June until 31st of July, for example. Yeah, you want it to be 15th of June, for example. Yeah, until 14th of July. Yeah, June and July, but it doesn't start from the first until the end of the month. So that is what we call varied taxable period. So if your case is that in that category, that is you are given varied taxable period, yeah. So you have 30 days from the date of your end of that taxable period, yeah. Okay, but normally those varied taxable period is based on your application. Yeah, you request your taxable period to be from this date to this date, then only that scenario applies. Yeah, otherwise we will start your taxable period from the first until the last day of the second month. Yeah. Okay, failure to submit return is an offense. Okay, and this SST02 is to be submitted regardless of whether there is any tax to be paid or not. Okay, submitting SST0 return is one thing, and the payment is another thing. Okay, if let's say there's no tax, there is no sales, local sales of your taxable goods. Okay, or maybe the goods that you produce, all you sell to person who use exemption. Okay, of course there is no tax to be paid by you, but still you have to submit the SST02 accordingly. Yeah. Okay. So manner of furnishing return and payment. Of course, as I mentioned just now, it is through my SST portal. Okay, we have in my SST, we have user manual of return and payment module. Yeah, the public user. You can always go to this reference. Yeah, if you are a newcomer, a new RN, then just going to the step by step on how to go about this. Okay, of course, that is the most, the prime uh, manner on how you have to submit your SST02. But alternatively, if you can't, due to some reason, you can't submit it through the system, you can also post the SST02 and the payment to custom processing center. Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to download the SST02, the completed one, okay, and submit either by post to CPC, yeah, Customs Processing Center in Kelana Jaya. Okay, so it's only to this CPC where you can post your SST02 and payment. But we don't actually encourage you to do it manually lah, yeah. Please, it is for I think it's no cost, yeah, for you to submit and make the payment online, yeah. So rather than you want to post it, which is quite risky, yeah, it could be reach as late, or maybe you uh, until the very last minute of the last day only you remember about, I have not submitting the SST02. Okay, so you have the uh, convenience, yeah, at your convenience actually, where you can submit it online, yeah. So we really encourage you to submit the form, yeah, the return and the payment online, yeah. But if let's say you really can't, so this is the option, yeah, the last option lah, I hope, yeah. So we don't we want to go to cashless. Yeah, it's very good that if you can make everything online, yeah. Okay, in the case of there is some correction you want to make in your SST02, okay, we have, if let's say uh, you only realize about the error, for example, before the due date and payment has not been made, so there is no limitation for amendment, yeah. So basically because it is uh, apa ni, you have submitted but it's not the due date yet, and you have not made the payment. You only submit the SST02 but payment you have not made. So there is no limitation for amendment. But if let's say before the due date and payment was made, so there is no amendment allowed. And also if it is after the due date, there is no amendment allowed. Yeah. So this one what I mentioned just now about the payment. Please use my SST, do it online, yeah, or manually. If you have to do it manually, you can either by check or bank draft and send it by post, by courier or p-hailing to the CPC. Okay, when the payment is considered received, yeah. Okay, if of course if you send it online, basically it will be as and when you make your submission, yeah. But in terms of you are submitting it through p-hailing or by post, yeah, it will be deemed to have been received based on the postmark date, yeah. And also macam if you send by p-hailing, so it will be on the date you send it to the p-hailing, yeah, providing that we could track we have the tracking number and can check when actually you submitted, you give it to the p-hailing operator to be delivered to custom, yeah. So all this, why it is important, because it will be there will be penalty, yeah, on any late payment, yeah. So it's very important to make sure that you submit before the due date, and the payment is also made before the due date, yeah. So please don't just submit SST02 before the due date, but no payment made. Okay, because penalty is on the payment, yeah. Of course, when you want to pay, you definitely you will have to submit the SST02. But please make sure that uh, uh, the payment is made before the due date. It will be some cost to you, yeah, if let's say you make the payment after the due date. Okay, subsection 26 sub 8 of the Act says that um, furnishing of returns and payments of sales due and payable. Okay, so late payment will cost you penalty. Okay, basically if you submit your make your submission and payment 1 day or until 30 days late than the due date, so it will be penalty of 10%. Okay, subsequently for another 30 days it will be additional of 15%, and another 30 days and more it will be another 15%. So there will be a maximum of 40% of penalty on the tax which is due and payable. Yeah, so don't create additional costs. Please do submit your SST02, and please do make the payment before the due date, yeah, so as to avoid any cost, any penalty on you. Okay. So we have our public ruling, yeah, in my SST, which explain all about this borang, penyata, pembayaran, yeah, on sales tax, yeah. Actually, this ruling also cover on service tax, but I think it's okay, whether you are a sales tax or service tax, or maybe TTX, tourism tax. So we have all the information in this public ruling number 1 of 2024. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let us go into our another topic that is on imported taxable service. Yeah. I think yesterday you have listened to. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, I think yesterday you have listened to our speaker pertaining to service tax, yeah. But what I want to share with you today is on imported taxable services, yeah, because I'm afraid that maybe since you are registered under sales tax, you don't really bother what is if you have any liability pertaining to the service tax. Okay. There is actually, okay, because we have this provision in the Service Tax Act about the imported taxable service. Yeah. So what is imported taxable service? It is defined as any taxable service acquired by any person in Malaysia from any person who is outside Malaysia. Okay. So that any person in Malaysia, it could be you. Yeah, you are the one in who is registered under sales tax. So that could be you who is have some action, yeah, some responsibility for you to make pertaining this imported taxable service. Okay, and Section 7 of the Act, yeah, Service Tax Act says that imposition and scope of service tax, okay, a tax to be known as service tax shall be charged and levied on, I go to B, any imported taxable service, yeah. So any taxable service that you as a business acquire will be under this category of imported taxable service. So I just share basically in our service tax regulation, first schedule, we have a long list of the category of taxable services. Yeah. For more detail, I think you can go into this service tax regulation. because some services is not listed here. Yeah, we have only this category, the group of services. Let's say, for example, A, accommodation, F&B, nightclubs, private club, golf club, betting and gaming, professional or skills, finance. Yeah, other service provider, logistic services, rental or leasing, construction, works, and education. I think you are also aware that um, pertaining to our broadening of scope, the new tax services that become taxable services are finance, okay, healthcare services, rental or leasing, construction works, and education. I think okay, because for each of this group or category, we have many taxable services that is listed in the regulation. Yeah, for example, for group G, professional or skills. Okay, we have uh, legal services. Yeah, accounting services, engineering, surveyor, architecture. Yeah, so we have all that many taxable services that is listed in for each group. Yeah, so uh, please do check in that regulation to see whether you are obtaining any of the services from uh, another person in outside Malaysia, from outside Malaysia. Yeah, so if you are importing these taxable services in your business. Yeah, so this is the scope, yeah, of IMTS. We call it in short IMTS, Imported Taxable Services. That is, let's say the service provider is outside Malaysia, but you in Malaysia, including in SA and DA, are getting these services from this service provider from outside Malaysia. Yeah, you as a business get these services, then you are liable for this IMTS. Meaning you have to account for the service tax on these services that you get. Yeah, sort of like you self-account. Yeah, because you don't issue invoice, right? You are the one who get the services. Your provider will issue you invoice. Okay, and if let's say they are not foreign registered person, yeah, so meaning you have to account for the service tax on the services that you acquired from them. Okay, but of course, based on this diagram, if you are a consumer, you are not doing any businesses, so you are excluded from paying this IMTS. Okay. So this is the to explain more. Yeah, it could be from remote services. Let's say you are in Malaysia, but you are obtaining the services from there. Yeah, the person who provide the services doesn't come to Malaysia. They are there. Okay, let's say the architect there designed the building to build your offices or your plant in Malaysia. So this is what we consider as remote services. You are actually importing his service to be consumed in Malaysia. Okay, so you have to account, yeah, this service tax on these imported services. Or another scenario, if let's say you are importing the services and that person come into Malaysia, come to your plant, yeah, for example, so that is also considered as imported taxable services, because basically they are there in outside Malaysia, in overseas, but they come over to Malaysia for their services, so that is also considered as imported taxable services. Yeah, so regardless whether where they perform the services, whether from overseas or they come over to Malaysia, so that is fall under this category of imported taxable service. Okay, since you don't issue invoice, so when is the tax due and payable on this IMTS? Okay, Okay, IMTS is due on the date the payment is made to the service provider or on the date the invoice is received uh, for the service, whichever is earlier. Okay, I think it's clear. It's either by you pay them or you receive the invoice, whichever is earlier, then that will be tax will be due on that date. Okay, but I think it's very often we receive the invoice and only we make the payment, right? So it will be when you receive the invoice lah in that case, yeah. So whichever is earlier, then tax become due and payable. Okay. If it falls both are in the same month, it doesn't matter lah. Okay. But if it is one is you make the payment or maybe you receive the invoice today, 30th of July, but you only make the payment next month. So the amount is due in this month, yeah, in July. Okay, for the purpose of invoicing date received, it refers to the date on which the invoice was recorded in the company's accounting system. Yeah? Sometimes you receive, but you don't key in your accounting system as yet, so it doesn't. It's not due yet lah. Yeah, when you record it in the accounting system, then it is due and tax is payable. Okay, this is just to explain more. If you are invoice is received by another unit, okay, it's only come to the accounts department later, 1 month later, for example. Okay, so that is due when the invoice is received by the accounts department and they key in into the system. So the value of the services is the actual value of the imported taxable service that is based on the invoice value of what the service provider give to you. Okay, and the calculation will be strictly 6% or 8% on the value that is charged to you. Okay, so 6 or 8, it will be based on the taxable services that they provide. Yeah? So because now service tax we have 6, we have 8, right? So please check on that one, whether it should be 6 or 8. Okay. As a person who acquire taxable services from overseas, meaning you import taxable services, so you have to make another declaration that is through SST 02A, yeah? Okay. You have to use this form to make declaration and also use declaration for your payment. Okay, furnishing a declaration and payment of sales tax due and payable by person other than taxable person. Other than taxable person, meaning if you are not a person registered under Service Tax Act, you are the person other than taxable person. Yeah. So the form that you have to use is SST02. Okay. When you have to make the payment and the declaration, so this section 26A sub 1 says that you have to make the payment to the DG. The amount of service tax due and payable not later than the last day of the month, yeah, following the end of the month in which the payment of the service has been made by him or invoice is received by him. Okay, so for this SST02A, we don't have a taxable period of 2 months, yeah. So it is on a monthly basis, meaning you have to make the submission and payment not later than the following month after you make the payment to your supplier, to the service provider, or after you key in into your system, yeah, the invoice into the system, whichever is earlier, as I mentioned just now. So it has to be on a monthly basis, and please make sure that it is not later than the last day of the following month, yeah. Okay, this is just to share some out-of-scope services. Service acquired and consumed by person outside Malaysia. So it is the services that you import is pertaining to something that is outside Malaysia. So it doesn't fall under this category of IMTS. Um, okay, and also if it is related to goods, land, or matters outside Malaysia, also it is not in the scope of IMTS. Yeah. Okay. The last one, if service acquired by person not carrying on business in Malaysia. So if you are a user, like our diagram just now, if you are just a consumer, not a business, then we don't fall under this category who have to account for IMTS. Okay, this is more like sharing the summary of what I have explained just now. Yeah. So if you are not a registered person under Service Tax Act, meaning you will look at the last column, that is person other than taxable person, yeah, because registered person is only if you are a registered person under Service Tax Act, then you fall under this registered person, yeah. If you are a RM, meaning you don't register in under service tax, you look at this POTTP, yeah, person other than taxable person. So basically what I have explained just now is all pertaining to you as a person other than a taxable person, yeah. That is why we use SST 02A instead of SST 02, yeah. Okay, meaning if you are a RM registered under sales tax only, so there is an additional declaration that you have to make on top of SST 02 pertaining your sales of taxable goods that you manufactured, yeah, pertaining you as a RM. So on top, you also have to submit SST 02A, yeah. So this is pertaining to the goods, to the services that you imported, yeah, and use in your business. Okay, remember you have to account it yourself, yeah, and how to calculate it will be based on the invoice that charged to you by your service provider. Okay, I think that is our first session. I think we can just straight away we continue with exemption from payment of sales tax. Yeah. So under this topic, I will cover exemption concept, Schedule A, Schedule B, and Schedule C. All these schedules are pertaining to exemption from payment of tax. Okay, just to refresh again, remember, just now I mentioned about Section 8. It is very important for you to know about the at which point the sales tax is charged, yeah, pertaining to goods, whether it's manufactured in Malaysia or on importation, because it is at this point you have to apply for the exemption, yeah. You don't come later after you bring in the goods into Malaysia, then only you say you have that certificate of exemption, for example. Yeah, that is not the case. Okay, so you have to claim exemption at the point where you will be charged sales tax. Yeah, whether you are buying from RM or you are importing the goods. So it is at that point that you have to provide the certificate of exemption and claim for the exemption from payment of sales tax. Okay, so where this is provided for in the Act, okay, just now we have looked at the Section 35 Sub 1A on any goods, right? Goods that is exempted or 0% tax, and also now we will cover on any person or class of person exempted from payment of the whole or any part of the sales tax, yeah. So Minister do give exemption, whether by way of this Federal Gazette, yeah, this Warta, whatever that has been published in the exemption order, or maybe it can be a case-by-case exemption given by the Minister. Okay, just now we look at sub 1. Now sub 3 is minister may in any particular case exempt a person from payment and or any RM from charging. Yeah, ini the second one is I think it's very seldom lah. But what we have the order here is person exempted from payment. Yeah, you could be the lucky one. You are listed in the exemption order, so you can enjoy the exemption. Okay, but please take note that bear in mind that whatever exemption that is given to you, it comes with conditions. Yeah, that you have to follow, you have to comply with. Otherwise, whatever exemption that has given to you will become due and payable on the date any of the conditions fail to be complied with. Okay, so it comes with a cost. Please do comply with any of the conditions so that you can fully enjoy the exemption. Yeah. So if you any of the condition is breached, then we have the provision in 35.5 saying that so the exemption that is given to you shall become due and payable. So you have to pay back the exemption that you have get that is given to you before. Okay. So our federal Perintah Cukai Jualan, yeah, sales tax person exempted from payment. We have Schedule A, B, and C. So basically, A is given to many person, yeah. For example, government department, airline industry, oil and gas, yeah, subcontractor. Okay, that is we have many. I think we have about 72 categories of person given exemption, and we have Schedule B, manufacturer of specific goods, and Schedule C. I think this is where most of you are familiar with or interested at. Okay, about exemption in Schedule C that is given to RM, yeah, or person that is appointed by a RM. Okay, before you go into the order to know whether you are eligible for any of the exemption there, so please take note the exemption order, it comes in, we have separate column, yeah, in Schedule A, B, or C, and it will specify who are the person that is given exemption, what are the goods given exemption, what are the conditions, and in the case of you are required to generate a certificate of exemption, who should be the one signing the exemption certificate. Yeah. So all these are conditions. Yeah. Although we have the only column number 4, the tajuk is conditions, but basically item 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all the condition of this exemption order. Okay. For example, as a person, the condition is you must be the person as stated in that column. And if let's say you are the person who must have some endorsement, yeah, for example, endorsement from MIDA. So you must be the person who have that endorsement. Yeah, if you don't have that endorsement, meaning you don't fulfill the condition as a person. Okay, we will go into it more after this. Okay, and what are the goods that is given exemption? Yeah, so it is stated there if the goods that you purchase or you import is other than the goods given exemption in the order, meaning it doesn't entitle for the exemption. Okay, and of course each one of the exemption item will have their own conditions. Yeah. Okay, the exemption concept. The exemption is granted in full. Okay, sales tax we give you the full amount of exemption. Okay, if the tax amount is 1,000, then you are entitled for the whole amount of that 1,000. Yeah, for exemption. That is in the order. Yeah, what I explain here is in the order. Okay, if let's say it is special exemption given by the minister to you. So it will be based on the whatever condition stated in the letter of approval. Yeah. But what I explain here is about the full exemption is pertaining to the person given exemption under this exemption order. Okay. So if you are the person given exemption, you are lucky enough to have your you fall under any of the person given exemption. So you are exempted from paying the tax, the sales tax, when you purchase from RM or maybe from your importation, or some cases from the goods that you transport from SA and DA, yeah? Special areas and designated areas, yeah? And subject to conditions. Okay, when to produce the certificate, yeah, certificate of exemption, because basically in the exemption order, most of the item, the exemption item, is there is a requirement for you to generate the certificate of exemption. Yeah, it's very limited one. I think about 5 or 6 item only that doesn't require for a certificate of exemption. Okay, in the case where you are applying for exemption in and you are required to have the certificate. So when the exemption is subject to the production of a certificate, okay, time when exemption operates is first in the case of goods imported, when the said certificate is produced to the proper officer of custom, yeah. And in the case of you buy it from a local manufacturer, then when the said certificate is produced to the RM. Okay, it goes back to our section 8 in the earlier part of our session just now, yeah. So it must be at the time when you produce the certificate to the custom officer or you produce it to the RM. Okay, so as an RM, yeah, I think many of you here are RM. I would like to advise you, please make sure when you are selling the taxable goods that you produce, that you manufacture to any person, please make sure they produce to you the certificate of exemption. Yeah. Otherwise, you have to charge them the sales tax. Okay. Please be safe that get them, even though they are your frequent customer. Yeah. Please get them to produce to you the certificate of exemption, because if let's say, yeah, later on we go and audit, we see that your invoices, we see that you don't charge sales tax. So it is your liability because you are not charging the sales tax to your customer, whereas he doesn't provide you with any of the certificate of exemption. Yeah. So liability on you. So we will have to collect back the tax due from you. Yeah. Please, even though maybe your client will say, oh, this is for government department, government all get exemption. No, yeah, that is not the case. Please make sure that they do provide you with the certificate, they show to you, then only you can issue the invoice without charging the sales tax. Yeah, it's better still that you put in the certificate registration certificate number. Yeah. So it's safe for you. You can, after so long also, you can remember that you safely have their certificate of exemption for you not charging them the sales tax. Yeah. So please take note of that. Yeah. Don't just your customer claim, we have exemption, then you don't charge them. Yeah. So the liability may fall to you later on. Okay, please, it's not difficult. Okay, even if you are the one who get the exemption, it's not difficult. It's in the system. In my SST, you can generate the certificate and provide to your supplier. Yeah, for example, if you are the one who is enjoying the exemption, please get the certificate and show them so everybody is safe. Everybody can uh, exactly enjoy the full exemption of the tax that is given to them and to you. Okay. So, of course, as I mentioned just now, each of the exemption item is subject to conditions, but on top, yeah, uh, in the order we have general conditions that is to be followed by everyone listed in the exemption order. Okay, the first one is that the goods given exemption shall not be disposed of, sold, transferred locally, or not accounted for unless the tax has been paid. Yeah? Of course, this doesn't apply to federal and state government. But other than that, if you are the person who enjoy the exemption, please make sure that you don't dispose of the goods, you tak sold, you don't transfer the good, yeah, unless the tax has been paid. And the person given exemption shall keep records or accounts of goods imported or purchased and made available for customs inspection. Yeah? And the RM, if you are the RM selling to person with exemption, you also have to keep records on your sales to person given exemption. Yeah. So whether you are the buyer or the seller pertaining this exemption, please do keep proper records for customs audit and verification. Okay, we can proceed with our exemption in Schedule A. Okay. Okay, I just want to share with you because as I mentioned just now, we have many category of person that is given exemption. Yeah. For example, government department. Okay, I just want to share with you because maybe we don't have any government department participant today. But maybe in some cases you are as a RM or you as a trader, you are being appointed by government department to purchase or to import on their behalf. So you have the obligation there for you to get the certificate. Yeah. If let's say uh, custom appoint you to import on our behalf. Yeah. So you have your liability. You have your obligation that you have to get that certificate of exemption in order for you to get exemption from payment of tax. Yeah. So whether it's to import or purchase, we have that specific exemption item that you have to apply. Yeah. So for example, you are being asked to import on customs behalf. Yeah. So you have to go into the system. Please select item number 4 for the certificate, and then only you can submit the exemption certificate to custom at the point of importation. Yeah. Or maybe custom ask you to buy furniture. Yeah. Maybe you are furniture manufacturer, but at the same time there are some furniture that you don't produce. Yeah. You don't produce on your own. So custom says, please buy it for me. Yeah. From this RMA, for example. So what you have to do is you also have to go into the system, get certificate number 5, then only provide this to the RM, to the seller, then you can get exemption on this purchase. Okay, this is also on government department. I will not go through on this one. Okay, other than government department, we have also exemption for local authority, and the same concept applies. Yeah, if they say you are being appointed by this local authority, Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam, for example, appoint you to purchase or to import on their behalf, then you have to go into the system. and get the certificate. Or in a very straightforward case, Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam wants to buy from you as a RM. You produce furniture, for example. So this MBSA want to buy furniture from you. Please get them to provide this certificate of exemption. Then only you can issue invoice without charging sales tax to them. Okay? Meaning you have to know that we have exemption for local authority, for government department, but on the condition that they provide you with the certificate of exemption. And also we have from for public higher education institution, yeah, UITM Shah Alam, for example, want to buy what furniture also lah, yeah, furniture also from you. So please make sure they provide you with the certificate. Yeah. Also, if let's say they appoint you, and you also have to go into the system and get the certificate and provide it to the supplier or at the to the custom office at the point of importation. Okay, since just now I said we have a long list of exemption under Schedule A, but I have selected a few to share with you today, because otherwise it will be a very long I need a very long session to share everything with you. But what I selected here is what we find that the most frequent applied for, yeah, this exemption, and what it relates to the manufacturer, yeah. So it could be the first one is on importation, on temporary import. Okay, item 33 says that goods that you imported temporarily and re-exported, yeah, is between Malaysia and China, for example, yeah. You import certain things from any country lah, yeah, to bring into Malaysia for a while only, yeah, and then you want to re-export it back. So you can use this temporary import under item 33, yeah, with the condition that the goods is exported within 3 months from the date of importation, and security is required, yeah. Bank guarantee is required for this kind of exemption. Okay, you provide the bank guarantee, which is equivalent to the amount of the sales tax, to the custom office. Okay, once you export it back, then you can claim back your BG lah, bank guarantee. Okay. Okay, of course, in the order we give you a condition that you have to re-export within 3 months. Okay, but if let's say you can't export it within that period, you can always come for asking for extension of time to export, and we will process your application on a case-by-case scenario lah. But normally we will approve for such application. Yeah. That is item 33 on temporary import. This is a open, I mean for whatever purposes is on temporary import. Yeah, goods that you bring in and you want to export it back again. So it doesn't matter. We have questions whether we have to export to the same country or not. It doesn't matter as long as you export it outside Malaysia. Okay, so you can use this item 33. Then item 34 is also on temporary import. It is goods for repair. Yeah? Goods imported from any country, transported out from FIZ, Labuan or LMW for repair. Okay. So at which point you need the certificate of exemption? Okay. Of course, the first one, goods imported from any country, yeah, that is at that point, yeah, that is go through custom, and that is the point where sales tax should be levied, yeah. So that at that point, yeah, you have to provide certificate of exemption, yeah. So for this purpose, yeah, goods that is import temporary for repair, Also, like item 33, security is required, which is equivalent to the sales tax amount, and it has to be re-exported within 3 months. Yeah, and also you may apply for extension of time uh, for export. Okay, so if let's say you want to apply for extension of time, you write into your at the point where you make the importation, yeah, you have to submit your BG, and also if let's say you cannot export, you provide you submit your application also at the same import station. Okay, please don't submit to somewhere else, any other custom officers, but please do submit your application at the same import station, yeah, custom import station. Okay. Okay, what do we mean with repair? Yeah? Item 34 just now we said goods imported for repair. Yeah. So what is repair? We have classified these activities. Yeah, that is to calibrate, adjustment, maintenance, recondition, reconfigure, and overhaul as repair. Yeah. So if you are doing these activities, you may apply for this exemption on this temporary import. Yeah, because sometimes the machinery, if let's say you are uh, in LMW, you always have to send your machine, yeah, uh, for calibration, for example, or for adjustment. Yeah, so we don't want you to pay the tax again and again on the transaction, which is definitely not fair. So we have this category of activities which we consider as repair, and you can use this item 34 to get exemption from payment of tax. Yeah. Okay, item 35 is also on temporary import. So this is for scenario where goods are returned or sent for reprocessing. Okay, it must be locally manufactured taxable goods, yeah, excluding petroleum, which has been exported and subsequently re-imported within 12 months from the date of export for reprocessing. Yeah, if let's say you are a RM, you have sent the goods that you produce to your customer in um, uh, China, for example. Okay, um, but due to some issues, it has to be sent back by them for you to do some activity to reprocess the goods. Yeah, so make sure if it is exported and the importation is within 12 months from the date you export the goods. Yeah, the first time you export the goods, then you can use this exemption under item 35, that is goods returned for reprocessing. Yeah, and please make sure that it has to be re-exported within 3 months. Yeah. Okay, goods you produce local, you send outside to your client, for example, in other country, and due to some issues, they send back to you to reprocess. Okay, providing that is within 12 months, and then you can use that item 35 at the time when they send back the goods to you. Okay, at the time of importation. Okay, and please take note that the goods has to be re-exported within 3 months, or any extension of time that you may apply to customs department. Okay, similar like 33 and 34, security is also required for this exemption under item 35. Yeah, so once you export back the goods, then you can claim back your BG. Okay, just now the three items are on temporary import. Now we will look at temporary export. Okay, we have item 36 where goods are exported for repair. Yeah, if the goods that you send from Malaysia are transported to FIZ or Labuan, or export to any other country for repair and subsequently re-imported or returned. Okay, so at the time when you import the goods after it has been repaired, you can use this exemption under 36, yeah. So that you will not be charged on sales tax at the time when you import the goods. Okay. Then we have item 32 or 37 for goods that is exported temporarily and re-imported. So this is only on tax paid goods, yeah, that you have exported. Maybe uh, you have some expo outside Malaysia, yeah. You want to use the goods in Abu Dhabi, for example. Okay, you so after you have completed using it overseas in Abu Dhabi. So subsequently, you want to re-import back the goods, yeah, after the expo is over, for example. So you can use this exemption under item 32 or 37, yeah, providing that the re-importation is within 12 months from the date of export. Okay, and no claim or drawback has been made and granted at the time of export. Okay, please take note that this 32 and 37 only applicable for tax paid goods, yeah. So we don't want you to pay double tax, yeah. So because initially the goods has been paid tax. Okay, so once you bring out and you bring in again, we don't want to tax you second time on the same goods, yeah. So that is why you can use this item 32 or 37 to get exemption from payment. Okay, then we have temporary export for item 38, that is subcontract to LMW, yeah. So this is the case where goods are transported from a manufacturer in a principal customs area, yeah, in Malaysia, which is not special area, to FIZ to LMW for further manufacture, yeah, subcontract, or to complete its manufacture. So when you bring in back the goods to principal custom area from LMW, from SA, yeah, then you can claim exemption, meaning you won't be charged uh, sales tax, providing that you uh, produce the certificate of exemption to the custom officer, yeah. Okay, you send the goods, so you bring in, because tax will be uh, um, at the time when the manufacturer sell the goods later on. Okay, so it won't be double tax, yeah. You don't have to incur additional cost when you get back the goods after the subcontract job by the LMW company, for example. Okay, so there will be no tax on that one. And if you are a RM, it will be later on when you sell the goods that you produce. So tax will be at that point. Okay. Okay, it's 11 now. I think can we take a break? Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We will continue with our next item under Schedule A. Okay, that is item 54, subcontract to manufacturer in principal custom area. um, so sometimes you, as our previous example, maybe as RM, you need to send the goods that you manufacture to LMW or zone. And the same thing, sometimes those manufacturer in free industrial zone or LMW, they need to send their goods to be partly produced by you. Okay, so in that case, if the semi-finished goods is transported out from a manufacturer in FIZ or LMW, okay, to be further manufactured by you in PCA, so those goods can be given exemption, yeah, under item 54 of Schedule A. Okay. So such goods that is transported out from manufacturer in FIZ to LMW is subject to sales tax. Okay, because remember the section 8, the tax point. Okay, you will go through custom checking. So that is the point where the tax is imposed. Yeah, tax is charged. So you may claim for exemption at that point, yeah, by using this item 54. Okay, who to need to apply for this exemption? It is the person, the LMW or FIZ company, who should apply for the exemption, because basically they are still the owner of the goods, right? So they send in the goods to principal custom area, but the goods is still belong to them. Okay, they this LMW or FIZ company, they can claim exemption under 554. So we will not charge them sales tax on the transportation of goods between LMW or FIZ to principal custom area. Okay, next we look at this item 57. Schedule A is on locally manufactured goods for export. Okay, under this 57, it is actually given to any person who purchase this taxable goods produced by a RM or manufacturer in LMW or FIZ company here, manufacturer in FIZ, for the purpose of to be exported. Okay, if let's say you are a trader, you are buying taxable goods from RM. Okay, but all your purchases are to be exported. So under this provision, under this 57, you can get exemption when you purchase all these goods. Yeah, because otherwise you will need to pay for the tax when you purchase from the RM, and when you export, you may claim a drawback. Okay, that may cause some problem to the cash flow, the workload for you, and for customs to process your application for drawback. So we have this 57, so as you in the first place don't have to pay for the tax, can enjoy the exemption, but with the conditions lah, we have quite a number of conditions for 57. But for these goods to be exported to you, exported by you, okay? And this apply also to, if let's say the goods is for you to transport to a company in SA or DA, so it is also applicable, yeah? So it's either the goods purchased for the purpose of export, or for the purpose of transport to SA or a DA, then you may use this item 57. Okay. What are the conditions? Okay, the goods are purchased or acquired from a RM. Okay, because this is the tax point. Of course, at this point where you have to claim for the exemption. Okay, the goods shall be transported or exported to any DA or SA by the approved person, meaning you yourself, you have to export or transport the goods within 6 months from the date of importation or the purchase, or any other period that is allowed by the DG. Okay, so please take note that the time for you to export is from the date you purchase, yeah, or you transport the goods. The 6 month period is calculated from that date. Okay, it's not from the date of your certificate of exemption, because for 57, basically we are now giving you a 6 month period. Okay, you can because we understand as a trader, you are basically buying a lot and you will be exporting those goods. So instead of we give you certificate of exemption as for per transaction, now we allow you for 57. You can forecast how much you need for 6 months. You can apply in one certificate of exemption. Uh, okay, on the condition that those goods that you purchase, you will export within 6 months from the date of your purchase. Okay, for example, you are applying um, for a certificate in July, or maybe from January lah, January this year, yeah. You have 6 months until June. Okay, then in May you make some purchases. Okay, so on calculating, the 6 month is from the date of your purchase in May. Okay, maybe you have purchase every month, January, February, March, April, May, and May. Okay, you stop at May, for example. So uh, to calculate the 6 month is for the purchases that you bought in January, it has to be 6 months from January. Then your purchases uh, uh, in February, let's say one purchase for each month, yeah. So it has to be 6 months from the date of in from February, yeah. So it's not from the date of your certificate, but from the date when you purchase the goods. Okay, the goods shall not be used or carry out any further process. Basically, what we give here is you as a trader, yeah, trader where you buy and sell, you buy and export, you buy and transport to SA or DA. Okay, so you don't do anything, any additional work, any added value to the goods. Basically, you are buying and export. Okay, so it will be under this condition, yeah, should not use or carry out any further process. Okay, if the goods are not exported or transported within that 6 months or any other period that DG allow, uh, so the tax become due and payable. Okay, so if let's say you can't export, or maybe you sell locally, somehow you already got the exemption, you already have the stock, suddenly there's a local customer want to purchase that particular goods from you, and then you agree to sell to him, so uh, that is not allowable. Okay, so you have to immediately account for the tax on the sale to your local purchaser, yeah, your local buyer. Because remember that 57 is meant for export. Once you sell it locally, you breach the condition, tax become due and payable. So you have to pay the tax accordingly lah to custom, yeah, using SST, ADM. Okay, any other condition as DG may deem fit to impose. Okay, for 57, you need to submit penyata, penyata that will show your purchases, how much you, the quantity that you purchase, when you export, supported by custom form, yeah, to make sure that all the goods are that you purchase with exemption is actually exported. Okay, you have to submit this penyata lah to custom office. Okay, other than just now, we have, as I mentioned earlier on, we have some exemptions that is given to a specific person that need endorsement. Yeah, for example, person endorsed by MIDA. Yeah, okay. We have this one for item 33A, that is MRO company. Um, Maintenance, repair, and overhaul company. Yeah, 33B, same, MRO. 55 is for manufacturer in principal custom area. 63 for company engaged in hotel business. And 64 as well. The difference is that one for local, one for import goods, and 65 for haulage operator. So basically, those if those people who want to claim exemption under this item, yeah, 33A, B, 555, 63, 64, and 65, you must first get endorsement from MIDA, yeah. Then only you are eligible in terms of person who can claim for exemption. Okay, so what are the goods? It is different for each item, yeah. Even though we have for MRO, A and B, but the goods given exemption is different. Okay, one is for machinery, equipment, and specialized tools. The other one is more to something that doesn't last long, yeah, the spare parts, the components, materials, and consumable. Okay, so make sure you pick up the correct item, the correct exemption number before you generate the certificate of exemption. Okay, because when you go into the system, my SST, um, uh, that's a drop box, meaning you just select the um, the item that you intend to. Okay, but in order for you to do that, you must first make sure go into this my ST, check the exemption order. You pick up which one is the most suitable, which one is the one that is you eligible to. Okay, then only you uh, select the certificate item number. Yeah, because we have previously in 2018, 2019, even 2022, so many people come into the system and they pick up item number 1 or number 2. One is for Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Number 2 is for Sultan. Yeah, we don't have that many Yang di-Pertuan Agong or many Sultan. So please make sure you pick up the correct one. Yeah, because we expect many newcomers in the system in my SST uh, who is will be registered under SLRM, or any person who maybe previously you were not the person who used this exemption, right? Because maybe the goods that you want to purchase is exempted goods, so you don't have that. Uh, um, you don't need that exemption. But now, since the good is taxable, you come into this exemption. There is some item that is eligible to you, so make sure you pick up the correct one. Yeah. Don't just you see 1 until 75, I think. Don't just pick up 1 or 2. Yeah. So do go through the order. Yeah. Then only go into the system to pick up, to select the correct, the most suitable exemption item that is eligible to you, that is applicable. Yeah. Okay. So of that person yang need endorsement by MIDA, I just want to share today with you on item 55 of Schedule A. This exemption is given to any manufacturer in principal custom area endorsed by MIDA. So what are the goods given exemption? It is the specific machinery, equipment, and spare parts. Okay, so this one can be used by any manufacturer. Yeah, so it is not only by registered manufacturer. As long as you are a manufacturer in principal custom area, and you get endorsement from MIDA saying that you are a manufacturer who can use exemption of this 55 uh, of Schedule A on the sales tax, or maybe 112, yeah, item 112 of custom duty, meaning you can go into the system and apply for the exemption. Okay, that is the first part in determining whether you are the person, uh, is the person eligible for the exemption or not. And the goods is specific machinery here. It's not any other machinery. It must be the specific one. Okay. When you look at the condition, the goods belong to a category that has been approved by the Section of Treasury, meaning only those machinery that has been approved, that is listed in the Panduan. Yeah, we have Panduan 55, where we list down all the TC or the tariff code of the machinery that is allowable, that is approved by the section. So only that particular machinery yang you can claim exemption under 55. Okay. So with the expansion effective from 1st July, we have received many queries here from the or maybe requests from the industry, because now machinery many are now become taxable, yeah, due to the expansion. So unfortunately, some of the machinery that is now become taxable is not listed in the list approved by the section. Okay. So if that is the case, okay, the machinery that you want to purchase is not listed there. The only option that you have now is for you to go to the Ministry of Finance and ask for a special exemption. Okay. So now, as it is, the list remains for now, yeah, because of course we will look into it. We will most probably add more machinery in the list, but for the time being, if they say you intend to get exemption, you have to go to the Ministry of Finance, yeah, bahagian cukai, and ask for a specific special exemption from the minister. Okay, the goods must be imported or purchased from a LMW, boarded warehouse, or any manufactured from a RM lah. And the machinery, equipment and spare parts must be new and unused, and must be used directly in the manufacture of finished goods at the approved manufacturer's premises. Okay, if let's say you intend to take it out or transfer the machinery, you must first get approval from the DG. Yeah? Once you get approval, then only you can put it somewhere else. Yeah. But please don't just transfer it without approval. Okay, and any manufacturer can have to pay tax on any goods that cannot be accounted for. Okay, for the purpose of disposal, if you want to dispose of, transfer, or donate the machinery, you must first also get permission. Yeah? In cases where the goods is still is below 10 years from the date of purchase, then you have to pay all the taxes based on the item description and the TC and the tax rate, and also for the goods to be sold as scrap. So the manufacturer may pay all the taxes based on the TC of the scrap. Yeah. So, but however, if the machinery is more than 10 years, there is no tax to be paid. Okay, that is about item 55. Now we move on to our Schedule B. Okay. Schedule B, item 1 is given to any manufacturer approved by the DG. And what are the goods given exemption? All goods excluding petroleum, solely for use in the manufacture of controlled articles goods under the Control of Supplies Act and
没
subject
有
to
没有，这个
price
东西很
control.
重要哈，你一定要跟他们确定好。
So it
如
has to
果他们
fulfill these
做
two
的那个
act,
贴图，他没
these
有选
two
那个 code 的话哦，你认不到的。
Control of Supplies Act, and also to subject to price
啊，
control.
你要跟人家 folder 讲
So
出
what
口，
are
要
the
选那个
goods?
D， 我忘记是 D2 还
We
是
have
第三
7 currently.
什么
That is LPG, white sugar, face mask, petrol, diesel, cooking oil, and wheat flour.
这个没有
Okay.
关系的，这个是
So
你
if you
报
are a
关出口的
manufacturer
时候，
of any of this,
那个
if let's say
folder 他们在 customer system
cooking
里面
oil
选的，
in 1
跟你的
kg
号没有
in
关
poly
系。
bag, you may use this exemption under Schedule B of item number 1. So what are the conditions? Okay, the goods must be imported
没有没有，
or
这个
purchased
这
from
个
a
这个你不要
RM,
你
or
不要
maybe
搞
you
乱
can
掉，
transport
你
it
就跟
from
他
a
讲，你
LMW
那个
company,
你那个 K 图 它
or
会
a
有那个
company
code 的，
in
哦，你就这
free
样选
zone.
那个 code 就对了。
The goods
你
shall
没有
be
选那个 code的
used
话，
solely in the
你
manufacture
没有
of
选那个
control, must be for that
啊，
particular
你没有
goods
选那个 code， 你
only.
等下到时候我们上去
Okay,
进行 claim
and
一
the
飞我
person
直接 fail 的，
approved shall
我
pay
们
tax
这个问
on any goods that cannot be accounted for. Okay, or any other condition that the
啊，那个
DG
没
may
问
deem
题，
fit
贴
to
图的时候一定
impose.
要。
Okay, for you as a manufacturer under Schedule B, the validity of the certificate
没
of
有全部，
exemption
没有
is
sample
for
啦，就是
1
他
year.
们只
Yeah?
是在 system 他
So
们选择那个 code 而已，那个是他们的
please list
他们的
down what are the
system 来
goods
的。
that you need exemption under Schedule B, and you may use it for a period of 1 year. It's very important
啊，你
to note that maybe one
我不
company
确
they
定
are
有没有，
manufacturing
你
many
到
goods,
时候你
and
先发过来给我看
these
见。
control articles and price control goods is only part of their goods that they produce. So meaning this exemption under B is meant only to manufacture these goods only, yeah. So not for any other goods that you manufacture. Okay, item number 2 of Schedule B is given to any manufacturer approved by the DG. What are the goods given exemption? It's the same like A. All goods excluding petroleum, but this one solely for use in the manufacture of pharmaceutical products under Chapter 30 of Custom Duties Order.
是啦是啦，
Okay.
不要紧，你到时候你再给我看一下先啦。应该
You are given exemption
感
on
觉是看
all
不到了，
goods,
不过
yeah.
你先给我看一
Why?
下先。
Basically, because item for Schedule B is for item number 1, 2, and 3. Basically, it is for the rakyat, yeah. Just now, like we see, sugar, minyak masak, okay, LPG, and this one pharmaceutical products. Basically, it is for rakyat. So, in order, even though these goods are not taxable, but we give exemption for the inputs, so that we hope that it will help to keep the price of the goods low, yeah, so that the rakyat can benefit from it.
等下到时
Okay, that is item 2. So what are the conditions for item 2 Schedule B? Firstly, the goods are imported or purchased from a RM, okay, and it could be also transported from a licensed warehouse or LMW company or a free zone, okay, and the goods shall be used solely for the manufacture of pharmaceutical products under Chapter 30, yeah, not for the purpose of manufacturing any other goods. So same like any other exemption, the person given exemption shall pay tax on the any goods that cannot be accounted for, and the DG may impose any other conditions, yeah, on this exemption of Schedule B. Okay, next we look at item number 3 of Schedule B. It is an exemption given also to any manufacturer, yeah, approved by the DG, and the goods given exemption are same, like 1 and 2. That is all goods excluding petroleum, and for the purpose of producing specific products. Okay, it's only if you produce um, finished goods under this TC as listed, as you can see on the screen, only you can use this exemption under Schedule B of item number 3. Yeah. So it's the same. You either you purchase or you import the raw mat, for example, the packing and packaging. Yeah. For example, to be used in your manufacture, you can use this item 3 of Schedule B. Okay, item 4 of Schedule B is given to any manufacturer approved by the DG. What are the goods given exemption? Okay, unlike 1, 2, and 3, the goods given exemption under this item 4 is only raw mat, okay, components, manufacturing aids, clean room equipment, packing, and packaging materials. Yeah, so we don't give you all goods. We give you only specific goods as listed, as we put it in the column of goods exempted. Yeah, so basically it's only the raw mat, components, manufacturing aids. Recently we add on this one, and clean room equipment, packing, and packaging materials. The conditions are the same. It's either you import, you purchase from RM, or transport from SA. Okay, but SA is only limited to licensed warehouse. Okay, LMW or free zone. Okay, but we don't have. If let's say you transport from JDA, for example, so it is not allowable. So it's only on LMW, licensed warehouse, and a free zone. Yeah. So for manufacturing aids and clean room equipment, the goods are as specified by the DG. Okay. It's not all goods can be considered as manufacturing aids and clean room equipment. It has to be only what is listed uh, in the ketetapan. Okay. Ketetapan custom. Uh, it's a public ruling actually. Yeah, public ruling. We have list of goods that is given under this category of manufacturing aids and clean room equipment. Okay, and the goods given exemption must be used solely for the manufacture of exempted goods. I must say, okay, item 4, we know is for manufacturer approved by the DG, okay, but this manufacturer must be producing goods that is exempted goods, okay. The goods that he produce is listed in exempted goods order, okay, but for meant for export, okay. If you are producing exempted goods, but it is for local market, then it is not allowable, okay. So this one, item 4, is meant for export. Why we give you exemption? Because we want to promote, we want to encourage you for to export the goods that we produce in Malaysia. That's why we give you exemption. Okay, the conditions are the same. Yeah, kena import or purchase from RM. Uh, and okay, this one I think I have mentioned just now. For manufacturing aids and clean equipment as specified by the DG. Okay, this is another one that you have to pay attention to, that the goods manufactured shall be exported, yeah, within 12 months from the date of import or purchase of the goods given exemption, or such further period approved by the DG. Okay, please take note on this one, yeah, because it is different to 1, 2, and 3 just now, oh yeah, of Schedule B, because this one is given only for goods that you produce to be exported, and it must be exported within 12 months from the date of when you import or you purchase the your raw mat, for example. Yeah. but we understand that sometimes it's not all goods that you can uh, export within that 12 months, right? Sometimes, for example, cases that we have received, sometimes because you don't have uh, customer, or maybe your customer who have contracted with you, they are not ready to accept the goods within that 12 months that are given to you. So it's okay, come to us, ask for a extension of time to export, and we will approve your application on a case by case scenario lah. Okay, case by case basis. Okay. Uh, Please take note that 12 months is calculated from the date of you import or purchase of the raw mat, of your packing. Yeah? So I really hope you have a good record of this one. You can actually have some control on the exemption given to you. Yeah, and don't worry, if you can't fulfill that 12 months, you can always come and apply to us for an extension of time. Okay, the goods produced shall not be sold or otherwise disposed of in Malaysia, except as approved by the DG and upon payment of the appropriate amount of tax. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, it's given to promote export. If so happen you sell the good that you produce locally, then you have to account back the exemption that is uh, given to you on that particular sales. Yeah, of course you can't be charging sales tax on the goods that you produce because the goods is exempted goods, right? So what you have to do is you have to account back the exemption given to you on the raw mat, on the packaging that is given to you for that that you has been used for the goods that you sold locally. Okay? So meaning whatever exemption that you have used, you pay back. Okay? Uh, okay. Sales tax must be paid on any goods that cannot be accounted for. If let's say you lost track of the goods, you don't know where certain amount of the raw mat, where it's not properly recorded, it's not there, it's not shown that has been used in your production, for example, or not used in the production of exempted goods. Okay, you have mixed goods, but this one you didn't use for producing the exempted goods, then or maybe the goods is not exported within the time approved to you, then sales tax must be paid. Okay, so please come to us if let's say you cannot export, and please do come before the expiry of that 12 months. Or maybe if you are asking for a second time extension of time, please do submit your application before the end of the earlier time approved given to you. Okay, so don't come after. You should have exported the goods in June, for example, but now in July only you come to us. Okay, we may not approve your application. And another thing is that the condition says that you have to export within 12 months. What if the our auditor go and check your company, and we note that you have not exported the goods, whereas the purchases has been made uh, 12 months, more than 12 months already. Okay, uh, so they may ask you to pay back the tax. Okay, so you have the venue where you can actually ask for extension. So please do come forward and before the expiry of the time given to you. Okay. Okay, now we look at Schedule C. Schedule C, we have 5 items under Schedule C. Okay, we will look into it. Okay, basically this is the concept of Schedule C for item 1 and 2. Okay, both are given to registered manufacturers only. Okay, so under item 1 and 2 of Schedule C, when you as a RM want to purchase or import taxable raw mat, components, packaging, manufacturing aids, and clean room equipment, whether you want to import or purchase it from RM, LMW, or LW, you can use this Schedule C of item 1 and 2 if you are purchasing it or importing the goods yourself. Okay? So at the time when you provide the certificate, no tax will be charged to you by the seller or by custom officer. Yeah, in the case that you import the goods. Okay, what are the conditions for item 1 Schedule C? The goods are approved by the DG, okay, MA and cleanroom equipment as specified by the DG. Okay, the goods must be, of course, you buy from RM or you import or from SA, yeah. And the goods shall be used in the manufacturing of finished taxable goods or both taxable and exempted goods of the person given exemption. Okay, with the amendment of the order, previously, if you are a manufacturer of taxable and exempted goods, yeah, non-taxable goods. So you are required to apply C for your finished taxable goods and B for your exempted goods that you manufacture. Yeah, but with the amendment, now we allow you, if you are a RM, uh, who produce taxable and exempted goods, you may use only Schedule C. Yeah, item 1 of Schedule C, meaning instead of uh, maintaining certificate under Schedule B and C, now you can maintain only one certificate that is under Schedule C. Yeah. Okay, in the case of manufacturing the exempted goods, the goods must be the exempted goods here. Okay, it relates to item 4 of our Schedule B. Yeah, the finished goods shall be exported by the person given exemption. Okay, whatever condition that we have in B, we carry the same condition to C. Yeah, if you are buying the goods for the purpose of manufacturing exempted goods. Okay. Okay. In the case of you produce control articles like the one of B just now, or pharmaceutical products, yeah, or milk product, yeah, is either B1, B2, or B3. You may sell it locally. Okay, because in B also initially we don't say that you must export those things. Yeah, we only say only item in B4 that is exempted goods for export. Okay, only that one that you have to export. Okay, so the same condition applies here, meaning if you are producing exempted goods, the goods must be exported. Yeah, other you can use locally. You can sell locally. Ubat-ubatan, pharmaceutical, or milk product. That's a specific RTC that we see in the previous slide just now. So it may be sold locally because there is no condition saying that these goods must be exported. Okay. Okay, and the sales tax become due and payable if goods given exemption are not used in the manufacturing. Okay, meaning what? You use the exemption, but you don't use in your manufacturing. Instead, you sell it to your another company. Uh, Maybe your whoever. Okay, but the thing is that you can't sell the goods that you buy with exemption to anybody. Yeah, unless you pay the tax. Okay, meaning we give you exemption so that you can use in your production, in your manufacturing, yeah, not to be sold to any other person, yeah. And the exempted goods produced are not exported within the approved period. Okay, if that is the case, then sales tax become due and payable, and the goods cannot be accounted for. So all these are breach of conditions. Then you have to pay for the tax. Okay, we have improved. We have um, make some amendment to this Schedule C, where now we allow you that if the goods found damaged, okay, whatever goods that you uh, purchase with exemption, for example, your raw mat or the components, uh, if the goods are damaged, destroyed to unavoidable accident, or does not meet the quality that you want, you may export the good back to the supplier, or maybe return to your, if it is a current you buy it from a RM, you may just return to the supplier, and no sales tax shall be levied or charged, but it is subject to approval by RMCD, okay, by customs. Meaning, if you already use exemption when you purchase the raw mat from another RM, yeah, but somehow you find that the quality of the goods that you receive is not as your order, you may return the goods to the supplier, to the other RM, and no sales tax shall be levied or charged. Yeah? Meaning, even though the goods is not used in the manufacturing, it is allowed, yeah, and no tax will be charged on such situation. Okay, and we have any other condition as the DG may deem fit to impose. Here, for example, we want you to prepare your penyata bulanan, but you don't have to submit that one. Yeah, but you have a proper record of the goods that you purchase or import using exemption, and it is readily available whenever we want to do verification or audit on you. Okay, item 2 of Schedule C, or is the exemption given to any registered manufacturer of petroleum product. So what are the goods given exemption? Uh, is similar to item 1, that is raw mat, components, manufacturing aids, cleanroom equipment, packing and packaging, and now we have more. Here is including petroleum to be used as a raw material. Of course, as petroleum product producer, they need petroleum as their raw mat. So we allow, yeah. So if you notice previously, for other item, we don't allow petroleum for exemption. Okay. The condition is that the goods must be approved by the DG. It's the same, yeah. MA and cleanroom equipment as specified by the DG. This is the same. Okay, this one similar to item 1 of Schedule C, yeah. So you are also allowed to return the goods that you purchase with exemption to your supplier, or export it back if it doesn't meet the quality that you want, or it's destroyed, yeah, or damaged. Maybe during transportation it damaged, yeah. So you are allowed to return it back, and we will not charge any tax on the goods. Okay. Now let us look at this item 3 and 4 of Schedule C. Uh, this is the scenario where you as a RM, you appoint another person, yeah, to purchase or import the goods given exemption on your behalf. Okay. So what are the goods? It is the same like C1 and C2. That is the raw materials, component, packaging, manufacturing aids, and clean room equipment. But just that now you can't purchase it yourself, or maybe uh, you find that it is uh, better that you, maybe in term of cost, that you don't do the importation yourself, yeah, because maybe sometimes you want it in a small quantity, for example, yeah, or maybe you can't just go to the supplier in overseas to buy it directly from him, so you have to appoint another person to buy or purchase on your behalf. So the exemption that we have is item 3 and 4 of Schedule C. So who is the person given exemption? So the person that you appointed, yeah, the, in this case, I think we just call it as a trader. Uh, uh, you appoint him to purchase on your behalf. Okay, he is the one who get exemption, and we hope that when he sell the goods to you, he will take into account that there is no tax has been imposed to him, because he is buying on your behalf, and he is using the exemption, yeah, because of you appoint him, then he can use exemption, and we hope that he can sell to you without the tax. Okay, so the goods given exemption is the same. uh, Okay, the condition here, the person and the goods are approved by the DG. Yeah, so the person who, in this case, have to generate for the certificate of exemption is the person that you appointed. Yeah, unlike 1 and 2, it's you yourself who have to go into the system, my SST, and generate the certificate. But in this one, item 3 and 4, you appoint that person, and that person has to go into the system and generate the certificate. Of course, you have uh, uh, your task also, okay, because you also as a RM, the appointer, you have to go into the system, my SST, and appoint him in the system. Okay, so once you appoint him, you will be given a letter, surat pelantikan, with a number, and you give that number, um, appointed number, yeah, to this person that you appoint, so he can go into the system by using that number and generate the certificate of exemption. Okay, but if let's say you are the person who is being appointed by another party to purchase on their behalf, please take note that you must first register as a non-registrant in my SST, to enable you to go into the system and generate the certificate. Yeah, I think later on, I think in the afternoon, you will be the next speaker will cover more on this one, yeah, about on how to apply for the certificate of exemption. Okay, the next condition is that the good shall not be sold, delivered, or solely in the manufacturing of taxable goods, or um, both taxable and accepted goods of the RM. Okay, as the person appointed by another party, you must deliver the whole lot of the goods, yeah, that you import to this appointer. Okay, so let's say the RM appoint you to purchase 100 ton of raw material. Okay, so you must apply for exemption for that particular amount, and import or purchase it accordingly, and delivered and sell the goods to the RM wholly. Okay, the whole lot that he appointed to you, which you import, you must subsequently deliver and sell the goods to the appointer. Okay, So in the case of manufacturing the exempted goods, the finished goods shall be exported by the RM. Okay, remember item 1, we said now you can use 1C for uh, exemption for you to produce taxable and exempted goods, right? So now in C3 also you are allowed, yeah, for that same scenario. It's just that you don't buy yourself. For item 3, you can also get that person to buy for you for the goods that is exempted as well, yeah. So in the case of manufacturing of exempted goods, the following finished goods must be may be sold locally. Okay, it's same like item 1 of C. Only if you are producing exempted goods for export, then uh, you have to you can't sell locally. Other goods, yeah, like pharmaceutical or milk product, you may sell locally. Okay. In the case of manufacturing the exempted goods, okay, if the goods given exemption are not used in the manufacturing of the exempted goods or the goods produced are not exported, uh, the tax become due and payable, and the RM shall pay. Okay, your liability as the person appointed by the RM is for you to purchase and deliver the whole things. Okay, so if let's say the RM um, don't export the goods produced, yeah, in the case of exempted goods, so he is liable for the tax. Okay. If the goods found damaged, destroyed due to unavoidable accident, uh, or does not meet the quality, the exempted person, remember, you are the agent who has been appointed by the RM, may export or return the goods to the supplier. Okay, but in the case where you have delivered the goods to the RM who appointed you, and the RM found that the goods is not what he want, then he also um, return the goods to you, and no tax will be charged on this one. So either way, whether the goods is damaged or not up to the quality, whether you realize in the stage it is still with the agent, or after you as a RM have received the goods, doesn't matter. If you return the goods to him, or he the agent return to the supplier, then no tax will be charged on such situation. Okay. Okay, that is so the exempted person shall pay the tax on any goods that cannot be accounted for. Okay, your liability as the person being appointed buy, import, and sell delivered. Okay, to the person, because you are buying according to his order. Okay, you are not allowed um, to buy and for you to keep stock. Okay, you are not supposed to do that, because you are taking instruction from the person who appoint you. He asks you to buy 100, you buy 100 and deliver to him. You can't be buying more than what is instructed and make it as a your trading stock. That is not allowable at all, yeah, because there is no exemption given to uh, any trader, okay, uh, to purchase. Okay, now he is actually purchase or import um, based on the requirement, based on the instruction given by the person who appointed him. Okay. Item 4 is for person acting on behalf of RM of petroleum product. Okay, this is similar like item 3 just now. Yeah, it's just that this one is more for RM of petroleum products only. I will not go through on this one. Okay, let us just look at this the exemption on manufacturing aids and clean room equipment. Okay, as I think many of you aware of, uh, exemption on MA and CE is only given uh, quite recent, yeah, in early 2024. Okay, uh, so this manufacturing aids and clean room equipment uh, are given uh, to you, to the RM, and the goods that is given exemption are only as stated in public ruling number 2 2024. Okay, it is in my SST. Just go through that uh, uh, ruling. Yeah, basically, manufacturing aids and cleaning equipment are not does not fall under the category of our raw mat or components or packing and packaging, but you do need these items to be used in your manufacturing. I think you know better what are the goods that is can be considered as manufacturing aids. Yeah. Okay, refer to goods that is used to accelerate, improve, complement, or complete the manufacturing process, but does not become part of the finished goods. Okay, basically what we gave just now, raw mat, packing, packaging, component, it will be uh, uh, through manufacturing process, it will be the finished goods. Okay, but MA and MA will not be part of the finished goods that you produce, but it will help. Okay, the whole process of manufacturing. Excuse me. Okay, currently in the ruling we have 246 items of manufacturing aids. Yeah, for example, dye. Okay, which is not part of machine, cutter, grease, latex glove, latex glove. Yeah, these are only a few example. So what are the characteristic of the MA? It could be used directly in the manufacturing or not used directly. Yeah. Okay. These are just a few example of manufacturing aids that is non-allowable. Yeah. Stationery, it doesn't fall under MA that we allow for exemption. Apparels, fuel, yeah, maintenance tools, all these are not allowable. So we have a long list, as I said, 246 of MA in the ruling. Uh, but if only you think you have other goods that may consider as MA for you, but it doesn't listed there in the ruling, you can always come to custom and apply for approval. Okay. Uh, so other than MA, we also give you exemption on clean room equipment. Clean room is a facility in a regulated factory where pollutants such as dust, aerosol particles are reduced to a minimum level. So we have 51 items of clean room equipment, which we also list in the ruling. Okay, basically this clean room equipment is directly used in manufacturing process in a clean room, large equipment, and of course some are not allowable, same like MA, like stationaries, consumable. Yeah, so those are not are allowable. Again, if you have anything that you think you need, or maybe you consider as your MA, write to us. In this one, you have to submit to Bahagian Cukai Dalam Negeri in Putrajaya. Please don't send to custom officers in the state because it's only uh, bahagian Cukai Dalam Negeri in Putrajaya who will process your application. Okay, that is about MA and clean room equipment. Next, we look at item 5 of Schedule C on this subcontract work. Okay, basically, if you um, you have transaction where you as a RM will send either your raw mat or your semi-finished goods to another RM for to be completed, okay, to be done something in the process in the manufacturing activity. You may use this item 5 of Schedule C so as for you to get exemption on the goods that you acquire back from uh, uh, the company that you send. Okay, the subcontract. Okay, you are the sender. The other company, B, is the recipient. Since the recipient who do the manufacturing activity for you, um, is also a RM. So by right, he has to charge you sales tax on the goods on the work that he has performed. Okay, providing he got approval from the DG to use. Remember just now on the value section 9 sub 3, yeah, with the approval of the DG, he may use um, the fee or maybe what he charged for the work done. So and on top of this, he has to charge sales tax to you. Okay. But if let's say you now have this schedule C item 5, you can get those goods from the manufacturer B, the subcon, yeah, the receiver just now. When you get back from him, he doesn't has to charge you sales tax, providing that you give him, you produce to him the certificate of exemption of Schedule 5. Schedule C of item 5, yeah? So that there will be no tax on the transaction between you and the receiver just now. Okay? Otherwise, it will be a double tax. Okay? So we don't want to charge a double tax. You get exemption. Yeah? You apply for item 5 of Schedule C. And the subcon will not be charging you uh, sales tax on the goods that he sent to you. Okay. Okay, one of the conditions here is that the goods are subsequently acquired back by the sender. Yeah, the sender shall pay the tax on any goods that cannot be accounted for. Okay, so it the obligation remain here. Yeah, so if any of the goods that cannot be accounted for, so you have to pay back the tax. Okay, that is about exempted person. Yeah. Now we look at this expansion of scope, transition of sales tax rate change, goods exempted order, rate of tax order, and saving on changes. Yeah. Uh, as you are aware of, the scope of expansion under sales tax, the legislation was gazetted in on the 9th of June 2025, and the effective date was in July, 1st July 2025. Uh, okay, these are the two legislation that have uh, affected, yeah, by the expansion, where the previous one, meaning the sales tax rate of tax order 2022 and sales tax goods exempted from tax order 2022, also revoked and being replaced with this order of 2025. Yeah, both take effect from 1st July 2025. Okay, this is just the uh, press conference by the minister. Mm, okay, due to this announcement, so we have some changes, yeah, to our the earlier um, the earlier order. Okay, we have a very minimal changes lah. Yeah, in the rate of tax order, we have amendment to both. Uh, but however, those also take into effect from 1st of July 2025, meaning the announcement came before the effective of the previous order. Okay, before the effective order uh, rate of tax order, and also goods exempted from tax order. Okay, so that is why it take the same effective date as the previous one. Yeah. So the transitional treatment on sales tax is that on the importation, the new sales tax rate will be imposed on the goods that are released from custom control on or after 1st July 2025. Okay, this is on importation. It's very clear. So whatever come released from custom control first, okay, starting from the effective date of the Gazette, that is on the 1st July, then it fall under the new tax rate. Okay, this is the scenario where I think you can see more clearer. Okay, if the goods is released from custom control before 1st July, so the old rate or the exempted goods take effect. Yeah, but if it is released from custom control on or after 1st July, then the new tax rate will be applied. That is in the case of goods manufactured. In the case of uh, SARM, okay, sales tax should be imposed at the new sales tax rate if the invoice is issued on or after 1st July for taxable goods manufactured by a RM. Okay, if you are a RM now, uh, at the same time, yeah, previously before 1st July, you also produce the non-taxable good, that is the exempted goods. Come 1st July, you have to charge sales tax if the invoice is issued on or after 1st July, yeah, for taxable goods manufactured by a registered manufacturer. Okay, you are already a RM for different goods. Now, the goods that you produce previously exempted now become taxable goods if you issue the invoice from 1st July. Okay, then the goods that affected with the expansion of scope is also become taxable, and of course you have to charge sales tax on your sales. Yeah, providing that invoice is issued on or after 1st July. Okay, then this is just to show, yeah, this is the general rule. Invoice issued before 1st July, all rate. Invoice issued after or on 1st July, the new rate will be applied. Okay, this is another scenario. If let's say before 1st July, a RM manufactures taxable good at a rate of 5%. He issued the sales invoice. And after 1st July, the goods are subject to the change. Now the goods which was previously 5% become 10%. Okay, however, the sale is still subject to the old tax rate of 5% because he issued the invoice before 1st July. Okay, when you look at the first row, it says that the manufacturer issues a sales invoice before 1st July. Okay, so he still has to use or charge sales tax based on the old rate. Yeah, even though if let's say the goods is delivered after 1st July. So we follow when you issue the invoice. Okay, another example. If let's say the manufacturer manufactured exempted goods, yeah, before 1st July, Then come 1st July, the goods is the rate of the sales tax of the goods now is 5%. So on the 3rd July, the manufacturer issue a sales invoice. Okay, in this case, no sales tax shall be charged because the manufacturer is not a registered manufacturer yet, yeah, under the Sales Tax Act 2018, yeah. Uh, because, for example, he has not reached the threshold. Okay, so only 3rd July kan, from the 1st July until 3rd July, he issued the invoice. He has not reached the threshold and he has not come to apply for a registration. So there is no tax to be charged even though the goods now is 5% because he is not a RM. Remember, only RM can charge you sales tax, yeah? Even though if let's say a manufacturer who produce taxable goods, but he is not a RM, so he is not supposed to issue a sales invoice with and charge you sales tax. Okay, disposal or own use of goods manufactured by a RM. Remember, Section 8, imposition, scope and imposition is when you sell, dispose or use of finished taxable goods, yeah, of the taxable goods that you manufacture. So in this example, if let's say uh, this RM he record the disposal for, or maybe for him to give as a gift or for his own use before 1st July. Okay, come 1st July, uh, only he carried out the disposal activity, or maybe after 1st July only he gave away the goods. So okay, he record before 1st July and disposal made on or after the new rate, meaning the new tax rate is applicable. Yeah, but if he record before 1st July for his own use or disposal, doesn't matter for that. Uh, and he record it after 1st July, then the new rate apply. So it doesn't matter whether it is disposed by any way, or maybe for own use, or for a giveaway, for a donation. Yeah. If he record those transactions before 1st July and the disposal is made after 1st July, then he has to account for the tax and pay to custom accordingly. Yeah. So it is when you dispose of the things that matters. Yeah, maybe you record earlier, but the disposal actually take into place after 1st July. So we will be follow the date when you that activity happen. Yeah, when you dispose or when you use the goods. Taxable goods manufactured are disposed of or used by the RM. Okay, manufactured taxable goods are subject to the imposition of the new sales tax rate if they are disposed of or used on or after the effective date. Yeah, even the disposal has been recorded in the company's account before the effective date of the order. Okay, as I mentioned, when the activity take place. Yeah, doesn't matter whether already recorded earlier, but you dispose on later on after effective date, meaning you have to follow the tax rate of the current one. Okay, we have penalty remission during the transition period. Okay, exemption as per media release here from the Ministry of Finance saying that exemption from compound fines and penalties until 31st December 2025 for those offences. Yeah, you are exempted from being compounded. That is on late registration, late submission of return. Yeah, it's not statement, it's return actually. Return of SST 02. late payment or incorrect declaration, yeah, or any errors related to invoice, CN or DN. So you are given until 31st December 2025, and you are being exempted from compound. Yeah. So application for penalty remission must be made to the RMCD in accordance with the prescribed procedures. Okay. Basically, if you want to ask for a remission, what you have to do is just write in, yeah, write in, because we don't have anything in the system or any form for remission, yeah. So what you have to do is write in saying uh, reason why all this happen, yeah. For example, for late payment or late registration, uh, why it happened, then submit to us in custom, and we will consider your application on a case by case basis. Okay, as I mentioned earlier on, the only two legislation or orders that is affected by this expansion of scope is sales tax goods exempted from sales tax order 2025. Yeah. So only goods that is listed here in exempted goods order are exempted from sales tax. Yeah. If your goods is not here, meaning it is subject to sales tax, it's only that you have to check again whether it falls under 5% or 10%. Okay, these are just a few examples of goods that remain at uh, zero, meaning these goods are exempted from sales tax. Yeah, you can just have a look of these goods. Okay. Of course, as compared to before, uh, prior to 1st July 2025, the list is shorter, much shorter as compared to previous. Okay, uh, less and less goods now under the exempted goods order. Yeah. So the other legislation that change is on the sales tax rate of sales tax order 2025. Uh, okay, basically, this order says that the rate of sales tax which shall be charged and levied is fixed at 10%, yeah, on all taxable goods, except goods which are included in any exemption order, that is good exempted order, just now that I share with you, or goods in the first schedule is fixed at a rate of 5%, or goods in the second schedule is fixed at the rate of specific rate. Yeah, specific rate, as I mentioned earlier, it is for petroleum, for example, 60 cents per liter. Yeah, so we have a very specific rate uh, of tax in the second schedule. Otherwise, if it is in the first schedule, we don't fix the tax amount, or rather we give you what is the rate. Yeah, so it is taxed at 5%. So other than all this, meaning all other goods are taxed at 10%. Okay, you can see on this one, we have more goods here in jadual pertama, first schedule, yeah. Goods previously under exempted goods, now some are already here in second schedule, in the first schedule, meaning it is now taxed at 5%, yeah. So these are the goods that was uh, previously 5% and it remains at 5. And these are example of the goods which was previously 0 or exempted goods, now increased to 5%. Yeah. For example, as you know, imported fruits, which has been mentioned by the PM. Yeah. fresh flowers, except for except for few goods lah. Yeah, imported fruits tadi macam apple, oranges kan. Initially it was uh, to 5, but after the announcement by the PM, it goes back to 0. Okay, now like fresh flowers, previously it was it was 0, now increased to 5. Yeah. Uh, what other, okay, stuffed pasta. Yeah, previously pasta is 0, now it's at 5. Yeah, but it is not the ordinary pasta. The ordinary pasta, it is still remain at 0. Yeah. This one is stuffed pasta. Okay, machine and spare parts, I think this is some of the goods that is of really your concern. Yeah, because machine and spare parts previously many are at 0 or exempted goods. Now it is taxable to 5. Okay, this is what I mentioned just now about item 55. It is the machinery is not listed there. Then what you have to do is, uh, if you want to ask for exemption, you have to write into the minister. Okay, these are the saving on changes in the sales tax rate. Okay, basically it's just to what I already showed in the transition example just now. Yeah, basically where there is a change in rate of sales tax, meaning from 5 to 10, the rate of the that is applicable before the 1st July is based on the invoice that you issued. Yeah, if the invoice is issued before the 1st July, meaning the old rate is applicable. Okay, you have to apply the old rate. Okay, and same also if it is about disposal. I think this is already explained in the diagram shared with you just now. Yeah, so it is just to show to you where the provision of the law pertaining to what we explained in the diagram. Yeah, so whether for you to use the old rate or the new rate, yeah, exempted or taxable now, it will be based on the invoice. Okay, if the invoice is issued after 1st July, then the new rate is applicable. Okay, this is also the same, just now more like 5 to 10. Okay, this one is sub 2 is about previously exempted goods now become taxable, and the same rule applies, that is based on the invoice issued. Yeah, invoice issued before 1st July, so the goods are still exempted goods. Invoice issued after 1st July, then the goods now become taxable goods. Okay, and this is pertaining to the disposal. Okay, it's same like I have explained in the diagram just now. But what I want to share, this one is, it is no, it's not shown in the transition slide just now. I just want to share with you that sub 4, yeah, state that where any person who has been exempted under 35(1)(b) or 35(3)(a), or any person who has been granted exemption under AMS, yeah, 61A, is no longer a person exempted from payment of tax, yeah, starting from 1st July. No tax shall be charged on the stock of taxable goods if you become a RM on or before 30th September 25. Okay, let me just explain to you. Okay, if previously you are the person who produce exempted goods, yeah, and you use those exempted goods that you produce are meant to be exported, meaning previously you use item 4 of Schedule B. Okay, now the goods that you produce become taxable. Okay, and you still have a balance of the goods, raw mat for example, that you have purchased with exemption. Okay, or maybe you are the person given approval under MS. Yes, 61A, meaning you are the manufacturer of exempted goods with exemption under AMS. Now, the goods that you produce become taxable, okay? But you still have balance of stock of raw mat of packaging that you have acquired before this. Okay, by right, you have to account back, okay, the tax that has been given exemption to you, because now you are no longer the person producing exempted goods, okay. But with this saving in the rate of sales tax order, you are exempted from paying back the tax, provided that you become a RM by 30th September 2025. Okay, I hope that is clear. Yeah. Okay. Before this, you produce non-taxable goods. Now the goods become taxable. Okay. So when you produce the non-taxable goods before this, you already enjoy exemption under before, for example, or MS. Now you still have balance of the stock. Okay. You are given exemption to pay back the tax on those balance of stock that you have, provided that you become RM by 30th September 2025. Okay? Meaning you still can use the exemption, the goods is given exemption, you don't have to pay back with the condition that you become a RM. Okay? Because once you become a RM, you can enjoy our exemption. Okay? The earlier you come forward to us to get yourself registered as a RM, the better, because you can start enjoying exemption under Schedule C. Yeah. So I think with that, I end my session, and thank you. Ada soalan? Kita tengok soalan.